When someone thinks about Israel, usually he envisions something in mind. This is what people think about Israel usually. A kid in front of a tank. Always the same tank, only the kids are changing the Israel is different. It's true, the tank is over there, people cannot avoid the conflict exists, but at the same time, Israel is much more multidimensional. We have culture, we have science, technology, cutting edge in medicine, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, the media, and I know that there are a lot of media people here, unfortunately the media is concentrated on a certain topic, on the conflict. I can understand it. But as a representative of the Israeli government, I want to bring the message, which is a different message, or I would like to add another dimension. This December, when the war in Gaza started, we got on Twitter. And since we entered Twitter, I think the definition of public diplomacy has changed. If in the past, in order to convey a message, we had to appeal to a third party, to the media, all of a sudden we have a tool in which we can bring our message directly to the public. And this is a revolution. This is a revolution when it comes to government. For the first time, we can have a dialogue with the public opinion. If in the past, we used only to bring our message or to communicate our message, all of a sudden, we can hear also what people are thinking. For us, as a government, as the Israeli government, it's something very, very important. We want to know what people think about us. We want to know how people react to different activities or different actions that are taking place in Israel. We announced, the first time ever, a government press conference on Twitter. As Jack said before, expect the unexpected, and when possible, do the unexpected. For the first time, a government is on Twitter, on press conference. And we have to remember that it was December, the hot topic or the hot story was the war in Gaza. So this was one of the first reactions we got. But at the same time, we got also this reaction. Rachel Meadow, in one of her comments about the press conference, asked a question, an interesting question, whether it's possible to explain such a profound and complicated conflict in 140 characters. And this was a question, you know, usually you say that there is no bad PR, and I agree, because after Rachel Meadow mentioned our press conference on Twitter, it only helped us to go to, or to enter to the attention of the media. And then media outlets, conventional media outlets all over the world started to report about this initiative, starting with the New York Times, going through the Washington Post, NBC, Fox News, and also media outlets all over the world, in Europe, Le Figaro, The Guardian, in Japan, in China. I remember one of the questions I was asked by the headquarters in Jerusalem, by the Foreign Ministry in Jerusalem, when we started our initiatives regarding a new media. They asked me, aren't you neglecting the conventional media by investing time in the new media? And I was trying to explain to them that we are not investing time in the new media instead of the conventional or the old media. We are talking here about fusion. If I want to communicate my message to the world, I have another channel, one more channel I can use, and this way I can reach also people that usually we don't reach. Especially the young generation, especially people who don't read newspapers, who don't watch television. And we all know what are the trends in the conventional media world. Twitter allowed us to talk directly to people. And it's not only about the Israeli government, it's something that can be implemented all over the world. We can bypass the media, something which is important, and also we can have a face-to-face dialogue with the public opinion. If I'm not mistaken, Jeff also mentioned before the human face that we can show to the world. When I tweet, and I tweet on my private account, I tweet about personal things, but at the same time I also tweet about political things, because I'm passionate about politics. I'm also passionate about music. I'm also passionate about different other topics that I'm tweeting about, but politics is part of my life. I think that this combination also allows governments to speak in a different level, in an eye-to-eye level, to the public opinion. All of a sudden, it's not a government, an entity which people sometimes don't know how it looks like. We're talking about something which is much more personal. It's not the Israeli government, it's David Saranga, it's the Israeli consulate, or it's someone specific who is talking to the people. All of a sudden, they can see the face behind the entity. Something which is very, very important, especially in the world we are living in today, a world of social media. As I said before, it allows us also to reach people and segments in society that usually we don't reach. It's true that people who are Jewish or people who are in media are people who are following politics or following the events in the region. But at the same time, we can see that there are also many other people who are following us right now on the Israeli consulate Twitter account, people that usually we couldn't reach. Jack was asking what we can do with Twitter in order to promote democracy. How Twitter can promote democracy. There is a lot of space, there is a lot of room to increase dialogue between people. And I think Twitter is the best platform to do that. We can bypass governments, people can speak one to the other, even in an area, in a region where in some Arab countries it's forbidden to speak to foreigners, but still it's possible to do it through Twitter. So we built this platform of Tweet for Peace, in which we would like to promote, and I say we, not as the Israeli government. I think it's important to promote 3 topics in our region. First one is environment. Second is minority rights. And third, it's education. And Tweet for Peace, the website, the idea behind it is to promote these 3 topics in our region. And only by letting people to speak one to each other. Because I believe that only through a dialogue, I believe that only through talking and getting to know each other, people in our area can reach a better future. Maybe one day they also can reach peace. Now, coming back to the question that Rachel Meadow asked before, I asked her, I didn't get an answer yet. I think that everyone understands that today, after more than 6 months since we launched the press conference on Twitter, in which we answered questions from the public, I think no one has doubts about the importance of Twitter. No one doubts about the possibility of having this dialogue with people with only 140 characters. It's all about the links. If someone wants to speak, to comment, to argue, or whatever about politics in the Middle East, and he uses 140 characters, I have to, me as a government, I have to use the same language in order to communicate the message. At the same time, if someone wants to know in a more profound way about topics in the Middle East, there is also the possibility to add the link and to forward him to other sites or to other material where he can learn in a more profound way about the conflict. Thank you very much.